it was a forbidden thing. Wonder and magic and possibilities all bound in paper. And she was finally holding it. "Mother Agatha won't know," she said, partly to convince herself. "Not if no one tells her anyway." She narrowed her eyes at the squirrel in accusation. Nuss drew herself up to her fullest and not at all impressive height. "I will have you know that I am no snitch. I simply want it on the record that I said this was a bad idea from the start." Maud waved a hand in her direction. "It's better than no idea." It was better than sitting around doing nothing when all this magic was right in front of her, begging to be tested. The squirrel let out a chirruping sigh. "But you don't know any spells. Where would you even start?" Nuss did have a point. There were so many possibilities in this kitchen that it was a little overwhelming. You see, Mother Agatha's kitchen was not like most kitchens. For one, right next to the neatly labelled containers of sugar, flour, cinnamon, and the like, sat more unusual ingredients. A jar of pale, unseeing salamander eyes, piles of dried snakeskin and dragon scales nestled next to a glass jar filled with small white objects that looked suspiciously like baby teeth. But the ingredients were not what made Mother Agatha's kitchen remarkable. In fact, it was common practice for any self-respecting witch to have various dismembered body parts on hand. No, what made the room undeniably strange, even by witch standards, was that it was made entirely of sweets. At first glance, the sturdy table may appear to be made of oak, but a careful observer would notice the finely carved piece was actually hewn from gingerbread. The window panes were melted sugar, embellished with bright lemon drops and spun sugar curtains. The ticking cuckoo clock above the mantel was comprised of buttery shortbread panels, held together by richest caramel. Even the logs in the fireplace were moulded from chocolate. But Maud was used to all of that. She wouldn't let it stop her. She just had to start small. "I know spells," Maud said to Nuss, a little indignant. "Well, I've seen Mother Agatha do spells. I've helped to prepare the ingredients. That's pretty much the same." It most definitely wasn't pretty much the same, but Maud didn't want to admit that. There was a small vulture-shaped voice in the back of her head that very much agreed with Nuss. This probably was a terrible idea. But it was also her only chance. If she could do this spell, if she could get it to work, then Mother Agatha would have to agree to teach her. She'd have to. Maud flicked through the pages and settled on one she recognized. Firestarter. The spell to create the small magical flames witches used for their cauldrons. The first spell any young witch should know, or so Maud guessed. After all, without a cauldron flame, she couldn't do much else. Agatha had several prepared powders for when she needed cauldron flames. An experienced witch could use just a dash of it. They connected their minds to the components and, poof, flame. But for a novice like Maud, she needed the physical connection of ingredients and a spell. She ran her finger down the page. Each recipe was written out in a neat block script, with small annotations in Agatha's cramped hand. Incantations to help bottle moonlight, spells to crystallize a memory, enchantments for eternal slumber, charms to keep away nosy children. They went on and on, all these amazing possibilities. Maud's finger stopped at one that didn't have too many steps. "A purple flame sounds easy enough." She didn't wait for Nuss's protests. Turning to Agatha's vast wall of jars and pots, Maud scanned for the first ingredient, dryad ashes, the basic link to the earth. She spotted a small brass urn, neatly labelled, and grabbed it. "Okay," she murmured, turning back to the list. "So, I still need dragon toenails for the strength to hold it together, goblin entrails for a spark, pond water bubbles for air, and essence of eye of newt for